This is San Diego News Daily.
Hello and welcome to San Diego News Daily. I am Dana Williams. First up, San Diego police are looking for people involved in a deadly Ocean Beach shooting. A man in his 30s was shot and killed early Saturday morning near the Ocean Beach Pier. Investigators say at least 4 people were hanging out in the pier's parking lot before heading to the shoreline. They say after gunshots, the group returned to the lot, got in 2 cars, and drove away east on Newport Avenue. The cars were described as a white sedan and a blue or a gray SUV. Those in the area say, they were terrified.
Scary to not know, where they went, who you're walking past whenever you're on here. You see kids playing and you wonder, who's the people I'm walking by.
And now homicide detectives are interviewing witnesses and hoping security footage from nearby businesses will help lead them to an arrest. Now to an update on our airports. San Diego International is among more than 36 airports across the country that are dealing with flight reductions this weekend because of the government shutdown. More than 1,000 flights are canceled across the country this weekend. The flight reductions started Thursday night and have come in phases. According to FlightAware, there were nearly 40 flights canceled here in San Diego on one day. Officials say they're cutting back on flights to relieve pressure on air traffic controllers who have been working without pay now for over a month. 4% of flights will be cut through tomorrow, with 6% to be cut come Tuesday. The Transportation Secretary says cuts will be ramping up to 10% come Friday. The government shutdown is also impacting this week's Veterans Day ceremonies. According to the Miramar National Cemetery Support Foundation, the events at the cemetery have been canceled because of all of this. The Memorial Amphitheater dedication and Veterans Day ceremony were scheduled for Tuesday. Organizers will reschedule them after the government reopens. However, the Miramar National Cemetery will be open from sunrise to sunset come this Tuesday. And with Veterans Day coming up on Tuesday, some places around the county gathered early to honor the men and the women who have served our country. That includes the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. NBC 7's Adonis Albright was there, and he spoke with San Diegans, paying tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
God bless America.
This crowd came to honor an American history we all share as a nation.
Where you serve doesn't matter. That you serve does.
Here atop the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial, dozens gathered for a ceremony paying tribute to veterans, as well as celebrating 250 years of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps.
They were willing to give of themselves, to give everything they had, to sacrifice themselves and at times their families and their fortunes.
That's a feeling many of Mark O'Loughlin's fellow veterans can attest to, like Tony Anthony, who took time after the ceremony to honor his fallen brothers in arms.
This is my 70th Marine Corps birthday.
Tony is actually among the 6,700 or so plaques that are up here on Mount Soledad. He's actually the designer for some of these plaques. And there are 2 men here on this wall that he served with during the Marine Corps.
Yeah, it's always a tough time to come up here. There is such a thing as survivor guilt.
It's not easy for Mr. Anthony to recount how he lost some of his brothers all those years ago during the Vietnam War, and many years later, long after leaving the Marine Corps, being the one to design their very plaques that now rest on this wall. It's all the more reason why he came here, to honor their sacrifice alongside his fellow veterans.
It's an honor and privilege to live in this country. Don't take it for granted. Freedom is not free.
I heard many veterans say those exact same words. And looking at this wall, the countless men and women, many of whom paid the ultimate price for our freedom, the gravity of that reality is all the more present.
My father was a World War II Navy veteran. My uncle, an Army Air Corps World War II veteran. My father-in-law is a Marine Corps veteran, and all 3 are going to have plaques up here.
This is a shared American history that nobody gathered here plans to forget.
May courage and freedom forever gleam. Happy birthday to our sailors and Marines.
From Mount Soledad, Adonis Albright, NBC 7.
Veterans Day is, of course, this Tuesday, November 11th. Join us on our streaming channel starting at 10 a.m. for full live coverage of the Veterans Day Parade in downtown. You can find details on how to watch on NBC7.com. Our NBC7 meteorologist Brooke Martell will have a look at your weather right after this.
You count on breaking news.
People running in the streets, they have their kids, they have their pets.
And help preparing for the unexpected.
Small fire right now, we'll keep an eye on it.
You count on stories from your community. You count on getting different points of view.
We're still human.
And your voice being heard.
We need help.
You count on in-depth reporting.
It's a mess, and it's making people sick.
Because you know the whole story is more than just the headline. This is coverage you count on, only on NBC 7 and Telemundo 20.
After a foggy start to the morning, taking you out to Mission Valley, what you can expect for the game with San Diego FC taking on Portland in Mission Valley this evening. 66 degrees around 6 o'clock. We'll stay close to about the low 60s as we go into about 8, 9 o'clock when things are wrapping up. But before that, heading into this afternoon for the immediate coast, northwesterly winds up to 10 miles per hour, increased cloud cover as we head into tonight. Daytime highs looking pretty nice, mid to upper 60s out at the coast. A good mix of 80s for portions of our inland valley communities. The reason being is that we do have some easterly winds, a weak Santa Ana wind event picking up today that will continue into tomorrow. We'll have those 70s up to the low 80s for the mountains, upper 80s for your desert region. So taking a look at the wind speeds, this is a look at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. You could see that activity over Ramona, Julian, Pine Valley, Warner Springs Valley Center, typical areas when we start to see that easterly flow pushing into those valleys. This is warm, compressed air. So that elevates the fire weather concern for us, and we'll actually get some of that activity continuing into your Monday. Focusing on the mountains, the valleys, it's our second Santa Ana since the start of the water year on October 1st. But looking ahead to the end of the week, quite the opposite of what we're starting the week with. So we have heat Monday. By about Thursday, Friday into Saturday, we're talking about rain chances in addition to much cooler temperatures. So we can actually see this system to our north, bringing rain to the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, also bringing the opportunity for some snow over the Sierra. But as this low sinks south, it will bring cloudy skies, cooler weather, which is typical with a low pressure system, but also the opportunity to usher in some of that moisture into Southern California. So over the next 7 days, dry conditions really through Wednesday, and then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have those rain chances back. We're looking at the inland valley communities, but you can actually see that we'll see some of that activity over the coast, over the mountains, and maybe even the desert region. 10-day forecast looks like this. Before we get to the end of the week, you can see for Veterans Day, low 70s a possibility near the coast, mid 80s for the inland valley communities. And even before that on Monday, again, a warmer start for us because of that high pressure that's building over the west. Going into the end of the week, you can see how much those temperatures could drop off. I mean, we could have low 60s by Friday, Saturday for the coast, mid 60s for the valleys, even cooler for the mountains. We could get back into those 40s and 50s by Friday and Saturday, and even some low 70s back in the mix for the desert region. Dana.
Brooke, thanks so much. Here is a sign the holidays are rapidly approaching. In San Diego, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas has returned to the Old Globe. And to get into the holiday spirit even more, the theater is hosting its 20th annual Christmas tree lighting at 6 this evening with a special performance of The Grinch. If you can't make it to the show today, you can catch it until December 31st. Tickets are available now at theoldglobe.org. And as always, there's more coverage you can count on at NBC7.com, and you can always find us on your Roku or your Samsung Smart TV app. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dana Williams.